Hey, what's up guys? Will Gove here for GSM Arena, and welcome to our head-to-head series. Today we're going to pit the Google Pixel 10 against the Google Pixel 10 Pro. The Pixel 10 is the lower tier, less expensive model, while its sibling, the Pixel 10 Pro, costs a bit more, but brings a handful of advantages. So let's compare our review findings head-to-head and see which of these two Pixel phones is right for you. As always, you can find links to our extensive full reviews down below. Both the Pixel 10 and Pixel 10 Pro bring the looks and feature set you expect from a new Pixel phone, including a stock Android software experience with plenty of AI. But of course, the Pro model, being a bit more premium, brings a couple of extra goodies on top of the vanilla one. Both phones are the same size and have the same design, which includes the Gorilla Glass Victus 2 protection and aluminum frame. But you can notice that the Pixel 10 has a glossy back and matte frame, while the Pro model is the inverse of that. On both Pixels, you get IP68 rated protection against dust and water. The displays of the two phones are quite similar too. The Pixel 10 has a 6.3-inch OLED panel with a 1080p resolution and a 120Hz refresh rate. The Pro model, on the other hand, has the same screen size, but with a higher resolution, and it uses LTPO tech. This means that while both phones' high refresh rates can dial down when the screens are idling to save energy, the Pro model is more adaptive. It can go all the way down to 1 Hz, versus a minimum of 60 Hz on the Pixel 10. The Pro model screen is a bit sharper, with a pixel density of 495 ppi versus 422 ppi on the non-Pro model. But the difference isn't really noticeable to the naked eye, and both displays have support for HDR10+ video playback. These displays are quite impressive when it comes to brightness. Both of them max out at over 2000 nits. That's more than enough for great usability outdoors. Both the Pixel 10 and Pixel 10 Pro have stereo speakers with the same very good loudness, and they both have the same sound quality too. It's full and warm with noticeable bass. Let's have a listen.
I should just let them all go when life seems impossible from every angle. Change just one little thing. When life feels intolerable, find joy.
Both the Pixel 10 and Pixel 10 Pro have an ultrasonic under-display fingerprint reader for biometrics. The two phones do have different storage options. The Pixel 10 comes with 128 or 256 gigs on board, while the Pixel 10 Pro can also come with 512 gigs, or a whole terabyte. Both Pixels have the same software experience. It's Android 16, with Google's proprietary features sprinkled on top. You also get plenty of AI-based features, and perks such as an improved language model for Gemini Live. And all of the new Pixels get 7 years of software support from Google. Both phones are using a new chipset, the Tensor G5 made by Google, but the vanilla model comes with 12 gigs of RAM. The Pixel 10 Pro comes with more RAM, 16 gigs. This could make a difference in certain use cases, such as running heavy AI-based tasks. Other than that, both phones have identical performance. It's not as high as other flagships when it comes to raw numbers, but in your everyday use, the phones feel smooth and responsive. The Pro model does seem to have better thermal management though. In our prolonged stress test, the Pixel 10 throttled to around 50% of max CPU performance, compared to around 65% on the Pro. The Pixel 10 actually has the larger battery. It's 4,970 mAh, compared to 4,870 on the Pixel 10 Pro. With that aside, both phones have about the same battery life. They earned active use scores of around 12 hours, which is decent, but nothing to write home about. Both phones support up to 30-watt wired charging and charge at the same rate. Neither is very fast, taking about an hour and a half to charge to full. And on either phone, you get support for Qi 2 wireless charging, together with magnets for alignment onto the charger, which is compatible with Apple's MagSafe. Now we are on to the cameras. The Pixel 10 has 3 on the back, a 48-megapixel main cam, a 10.8-megapixel 5x zoom, and a 13-megapixel ultrawide cam. The Pixel 10 Pro setup is quite similar, however each of its 3 cameras has a higher resolution sensor than the non-Pro model. And notably, the Pro model offers extra options inside the camera interface. These include a full-res shooting mode, as well as camera settings such as ISO and shutter speed. You don't get this on the non-Pro. As you might expect, the Pixel 10 Pro produces generally better images using its main camera. While the overall rendition in terms of contrast, colors, and dynamic range is very similar, the 10 Pro comes out with better sharpness and definition, especially with distant objects, and it's also more capable in challenging lighting conditions. The 2x digital zoom shots from the main camera are better on the Pro model as well. In low light, the Pixel 10 Pro's shots remain cleaner and sharper than the Pixel 10's. Though surprisingly, at night the two phones produce identical photos at 2x digital zoom. When comparing the 5x telephoto zoom, the Pixel 10 Pro takes more detailed and cleaner shots. On the other hand, the Pixel 10 Pro's rendition of foliage somehow comes through more natural looking. At night, the Pixel 10 Pro's telephoto once again captures cleaner and more detailed 5x photos, and it even has more accurate white balance. Surprisingly, there's not much difference in the ultra-wide stills. Both phones produce pictures with comparable quality. The Pixel 10 Pro does have less geometric distortion, though that's not apparent in every shot. And at night, the Pro model's ultra-wide camera performs considerably better, with cleaner and sharper output. When comparing selfies, we struggle to find any meaningful difference. They're great from both phones. However, you have to remember that the Pixel 10 Pro selfie cam gives you a wider field of view. The fact that the Pro still keeps the same sharpness and detail despite the wider perspective is actually pretty impressive. And here's a look at 4K selfie videos taken with the Pixel 10 and Pixel 10 Pro. Both phones can record videos natively in 4K with all of their cameras. Generally, the Pixel 10 Pro takes better looking videos with its main cam during the day. The clips are sharper and more detailed, with wider dynamic range. The differences are pretty hard to spot when comparing 5x zoom video. But when looking at ultra-wide footage, the Pro model is clearly on top. At night, the Pro model's videos are generally cleaner and resolve more detail, but the contrast and colors are better on the non-Pro model. So there you have it guys, the Google Pixel 10 and its more expensive brother, the Pixel 10 Pro. The two phones are very similar. Both have matching size and build quality, and chipset performance as well. The speakers are the same, the battery life is very similar, and you have the same charging speed. And with both phones you get Google's software experience and support. The Pixel 10 doesn't really bring specific benefits over the Pro model, except that you have nearly the same user experience for a lower price. The Pixel 10 Pro has larger onboard storage options and more RAM. Its LTPO display is brighter and sharper. Its cameras have slightly higher quality than the non-Pro models. And you get wider angle selfies. And there are a few extra camera features, including a high-res mode, adjustment of things like ISO and shutter speed, video boost, and night sight video. In the end, the benefits the Pro model brings don't affect the actual user experience very much, so it seems the regular Pixel 10 is the better value, unless you want to have the edge when it comes to cameras. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.